Calling moon and moon. Sorry for that. Anyways, welcome to Daniel's Infinite Playlist, and today we're actually reviewing one of my all-time favorite albums. This is the classic album review section, which is basically just me reviewing, a classic album that could have been released last year or, 20 years ago. And today we're going to review Bad for Lash's seminal 2009 album, Two Sons. Did you get it? Two sons? Just kidding. Anyways, and I'm also reviewing this album because today is actually, not today, this year is actually the 10-year anniversary of that album. And when that album was released, it actually made like huge waves during the critics press. It even got a Mercury Music Prize nomination for one of the best albums of the year. It's a very prestigious prize if you don't know about it, and it also cemented Bad for Lashes as a really amazing musician that can just make grand concepts, and it actually ushered her in in the pop world, and it was amazing to actually, well, I didn't experience it firsthand. Like, I started listening to this album like 2013 or 14, something like that. Anyways, how was it to listen to this album? Well, it's a bit like this. So, I'm going to show you the CD unboxing now. And as you see, I've got the special edition, which is a very nice edition. Not a big fan of the cover of that one, but this is the original cover. And you see here, there's the singer Natasha Khan, hugely amazing. And you see there's all of the concepts of two sons, and the dualities of the album as well. This is the other character, or the other alter ego that's presented in the album, which is called Pearl. And then you see there's there's amazing pictures. There's the insert as well. You see here some nice pictures, and also the lyrics and the credits, and it's a very nice album. The original version, the vanilla version, is amazing as well. And for those of you who are interested in buying this one, I actually recommend it. It includes eight bonus tracks, live versions, one remix, and also 3 tracks that are not on the original album. No, 2 more tracks, I think, on the original album. Anyways, back to the actual review. So yeah, musically, this album is actually a continuation of Bad for Lash's 2006 debut album, Fur and Gold. And I didn't actually quite like the sound of that album, but she just made it grander, and it sounds so amazing, and just so delicately produced. It includes elements of synth pop, electro pop, gothic rock, metal even, like in the song Glass. That song is amazing and I love it. And that's what makes the album so great, actually, because it manages to fuse all of these disparate musical elements together, and you can actually feel the sense of duality and mysticism that Bad for Lashes is actually known for, and that's why this album works so well musically. And some of the background of the album: this album was actually recorded mostly in the United States, and you can actually see it in the documentary that's included in the album. I forgot to mention that there's a documentary as well that you can watch, and you can see that she spent most time away from the UK, where she's actually from, and she recorded her album both in the city, in United States, I don't remember which part, and also in the desert. and you can clearly hear, you know, like how some of these places have actually inspired her to make this music. So yeah, how is this album lyrically? Well, lyrically, this album actually has very, very, you know, like mystical and also like very otherworldly, how do you say, elements. But, you know, it doesn't shy away as well, you know, like from being very confessional and being very, you know, like down to earth. For example, like in the song Daniel, which is actually the highlight song of the album. I mean, don't get me wrong, like there are so many amazing songs, but Daniel is the most iconic song of the album, and that's also my name. Just kidding. Anyways, so yeah, it's a bit, you know, like philosophical. It revolves in themes of duality, of the duality of the self, the duality of two lovers, the duality of being in the city versus being in the nature, or, you know, like the duality of people. And wow, I've said the word duality a bit too much. Anyways, and this album also features like Bat for Lashes alter ego, which is called Pearl, which is the blonde woman that I showed you on the album. And I feel that the elements of duality and also this alter ego are actually incorporated very well, because it means that, you know, Natasha Khan, you know, is just able to work on these huge lyrical concepts that actually make sense. And even songs like Siren Song just feel very, you know, like emotional, and you just wanna cry and, you know, just roar out all the lyrics. It's just a really amazing album. And it's also produced by David Kosten. He's also a great producer. You can actually see like the work that Natasha and David just do together, and they just work amazingly together, like in the studio and everywhere. I recommend you to watch this documentary if you ever get the chance. Anyways, what do I give this album? Well, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's an amazing album of 2009, and it still keeps on actually, how do you say, making waves. You know, like everyone knows the song Daniel, or so I'd like to think. And this is actually the album that cemented, you know, Bat for Lashes as a musician, as a great musician. And it actually expanded upon the sounds that she had already established on her debut album. And unfortunately, she never really did go back to, you know, like the mysticism and the concepts of Two Sons. Instead, she just focused on other themes, like in her other later two albums. But you can still feel, you know, like the influence of Two Sons just looming there on the horizon. And I think this album is actually a very influential album. I think there are so many artists as well that have just taken cues from this album, especially because of it being just so musically diverse. And if you didn't know already, Natasha Khan is a multi-instrumentalist, meaning that she can play a lot of instruments, and I think that's really amazing, and you can actually hear it on this album. And this album also actually features contributions from the late Scott Walker, rest in peace. I didn't listen to any of his music, but, you know, like his song on the last song, The Big Sleep, is really amazing. Anyways, artist links I'm going to put down below. Bat for Lashes is available everywhere. Like, you can buy her albums on the net, I think for a very cheap price. I think the Two Sons edition is also very, very cheap right now. And also, yeah, she's available on Spotify and, you know, like all the digital outlets. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this, then please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And as always, I'm going to review new albums every Wednesday and classic albums every Saturday. So keep your eyes peeled for those reviews if you've decided to stay with this channel. Anyways, that's it for me. Enjoy music, enjoy life, people. Hej då!